Ekitike has been brilliant. Obviously, we saw it in the Community Shield. We saw it also in this game where he can be impactful early in a game. He doesn't need too many opportunities in front of goal to get his goal. And I love the way that he actually led to Cody Gakpo's goal as well.
And you can see, really, Liverpool had so much of the ball, but fair play to Bournemouth for making a fight of it.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think Arne Slot will feel about that performance? Because there were periods in the game where we thought, right, this is the defending champions, are going to win the league again, but they also showed some of those frailties we talked about in pre-season.
Yeah, listen, Liverpool won the game full stop. That's the most important factor, I think, for Arne Slot. Getting that victory, getting 3 points, getting off to a good start to the campaign with so many changes in the lineup, 4 new arrivals starting for your football club. You've got to play well. You've got to put out a top-class performance as well. But if the top-class performance is not there, you still got to win the game, and Liverpool did exactly that. And it doesn't matter how the story of the game actually goes. 2-0 up, you obviously allow the team back into the game. It's 2-2. Great character for Liverpool. Even at 2-2, maybe a bit vulnerable defensively, but always you will rely on Liverpool and their offensive players to be in the game. I just think they've got far too many weapons, and if it's not in the starting 11, it's on the bench for Arne Slot. I actually want to critique him slightly about some of the substitutions that he made. Obviously, the fullbacks going off and then leaving themselves exposed defensively. 2 very quick goals were scored against them, and great credit to the way Semenyo punished them. But I thought Arne Slot was found out there defensively. And then, of course, they had the quality off the bench offensively, and that's where Chiesa comes into the scene as well. So at the end of the day, the story will always be Liverpool got the match done. They got their 3 points. They move on to the next game. I don't think many people will remember this match at the end of the season.
They have made a lot of additions. I think 4 of them started this game, players who signed over the summer. Does it look like a complete team to you, though?
It takes a while, though, doesn't it? It's not easy to be able to put this type of a team together. Obviously, Ekitike off a flying start. Florian Wirtz will take time. He's not always the best player and most impactful player in every single game. It takes time for him to get that feel. Frimpong is still a question mark for me. He's got to do more going forward. Pretty poor with his passing, I thought, and certainly not much goal action or assist action from him on the right-hand side in that game, which is why he obviously left the field. Kerkez on the left-hand side, similar. I thought they were exposed defensively. Konate looked pretty poor in that game defensively, especially in the first half. He looked a little bit shaky. But then that counter-attack, there's no pace from Van Dijk and not much from Konate either. And if your fullbacks are bombing forward, you leave yourself exposed, whether it's a corner kick or not. You're always going to be vulnerable. But at the end of the day, chemistry is everything. It will take Liverpool Football Club time to be able to get their product right on the field. As long as you can continue winning football games and Arne Slot continues to utilise his bench and those bench players continue to impact Liverpool, they should be too strong for pretty much every opponent except maybe the top 4 teams in the Premier League, where it's much more difficult to win those games.
Impressive Premier League debut from Hugo Ekitike. He's got 2 goals in the Liverpool shirt now. He scored in the Community Shield against Crystal Palace. Got another one in this one to get things going. What is a realistic aim for him this season? Could he be one of those strikers who lights up the league like an Erling Haaland?
Well, listen, obviously there's a lot of rumours about what's happening with Alexander Isak potentially coming to the football club. I would actually hold off a minute and actually not get too excited about that transfer actually happening, because Ekitike is off to such a flying start as that goal scorer. Do you want that influence around him? I'm not so sure I would want that. Ekitike has been brilliant. Obviously, we saw it in the Community Shield. We saw it also in this game where he can be impactful early in a game. He doesn't need too many opportunities in front of goal to get his goal. And I love the way that he actually led to Cody Gakpo's goal as well, holding up possession of play, making that run into a position where no one's in, so getting into the space and being a wide player. He doesn't have to be that number 9 striker all the time. He will do what he did at Eintracht Frankfurt. He'll feed himself left and right and get involved in games. I thought it was another very good performance from him. A goal and an assist. That's what we're always going to talk about, because that's what you get your money for, and that's why we write those headlines, to see the superstars perform. But this kid come into the football club, he's still only 23 years old, making it look easy so far.
He certainly did. Federico Chiesa had a tough first season, didn't he? At Liverpool, injury issues, not really getting much of an opportunity, given all of those attacking options they had. But he came off the bench for Florian Wirtz and managed to score what would prove to be the winning goal. What did you make of his performance? And also, do you think Arne Slot's maybe looking at all this and saying, well, do I need Alexander Isak, particularly considering the amount of money he's going to cost?
It's quite ridiculous to think that the offensive weapons they have right now, and they're potentially looking at spending that type of money to bring another one to the football club. Take nothing away from Alexander Isak. He's a fabulous footballer, and you know that, obviously, watching the Geordies so closely. But for me in particular, there's great chemistry within this Liverpool football team offensively. What they do offensively, if you can get Mohamed Salah better than he was tonight and continuously putting, if you can get Szoboszlai obviously involved in the game from that midfield area, I thought Alexis McAllister was very good as well. well today, especially in that first half. Got himself assist in that game. I just think Liverpool will take some time to get this all gelled together. And when you've got a weapon like Chiesa coming off the bench, who's still looking to impress, who's still looking to say, I belong here. And I know we saw the rumours about him potentially leaving the football club this summer, but I still think he's a massive, impactful player. He's pushing for starts. But if you can have him off the bench, there's been many a Premier League player who are better off the bench. I look at maybe an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, someone like that, who made a name for themselves coming off the bench and being impact players. If he can do that continuously for Liverpool Football Club, what else do you need? Offensively, the weapons are ridiculous what they have right now. My worry for Liverpool is more what they do is defensively.
I think your mention about the hierarchy matters too, because, and going back to that Manchester United team that you talk about with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, there was a clear hierarchy, wasn't there, between the players who were starting and the players who were the subs. And that's the issue with if you bring Isak in, is you upset that hierarchy. Because at the moment, you've got Ekitike and Salah, and then you've got Chiesa coming off the bench if you need it towards the end. But if you put Isak in there, that might mess that up.
See what you're doing.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing there. As for Bournemouth, this was almost distilling what we potentially going to see from them this season. They have so much danger going forward. Semenyo's a fabulous player, but they also make a lot of defensive errors, and that's something that Iraola will have watched in this game. He's got to try and fix.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, take nothing away from Antoine Semenyo. You know, only 5 opposition players have scored 2+ goals against Liverpool at Anfield across 10 Premier League seasons, and he's one of them. He's brilliant, right? He just knows how to get the job done. Very good for people's fantasy teams. Of course, he's offensively very dangerous. But how on earth do you replace players like this when they're walking out the door? Especially Huijsen, obviously along that back line. Kerkez going on that left-hand side. I think they're really interesting defensively, Bournemouth. And I don't think they're done yet in the transfer window. Obviously, they need to be healthy as well. Many players missing for them at this moment in time who still need to come back from injury. And especially in that defensive position, and also a couple of offensive weapons as well. But I love the heart and the passion from Bournemouth. I thought they got themselves back into the game, stayed solid enough to not concede more than the 2 at the time they did do to get to 2-2 and level in this game. Thought it was very, very good. It was excellent. Heart and passion and very well organised from Iraola. However, you can't make mistakes defensively. They were very lucky in that first half there. Set aside, we talked about in the first half with the red card potential. I also thought he was at fault for the goal, the opening goal for Ekitike. He went in 2-footed and sort of jumped at the ball instead of being alert on his toes and aware. Made it far too easy for them to get behind him. And I think they're vulnerable defensively right now, and that's where they're going to have this slow start. But the heart is certainly there from the Cherries. They'll be okay, I think, this season.
This evening on Merseyside was obviously about the game, the Premier League opener, and we were all looking forward to it. But it was also about the tributes to Diogo Jota, and really the heartbreaking story that impacted everybody and the football family over the summer. What did you make of those tributes? We saw prior to the game, there was a minute's silence as well during the match itself. Personally, I thought Liverpool and the players from both sides and both sets of fans struck the right tone.
Listen, it's traumatic for Liverpool fans. It's traumatic for anyone who's in the football community. I thought the minute silence was impeccably silent throughout that whole minute, which needed to be as well. So much respect as well. And what Liverpool players have gone through, you can't even put into words. I mean, losing a brother, that's what it feels like, of course. It's very, very sad, and I think the players have gone through so much this past summer, and to be able to focus to go out there and put out a performance is also very difficult for these players to do. They've been dealing with it a lot, obviously, since it happened. But as you can see right there, Diogo Jota forever a Red and forever will be remembered as that number 20 as well, with no number 20 now ever getting to represent Liverpool Football Club. I just think it's such a tragedy, and still we are talking about it right now because Liverpool fans needed this moment right now.
And tears in these shots from Mo Salah applauding the fans after the final whistle. You can see how much it impacted him, and we saw that from some of the other players throughout the game. And you do feel like that is going to be something that Liverpool are going to have to carry and deal with, and you know, may help them in some ways and will hinder them in others throughout much of the start of this season. I
think we see many players who played or knew Diogo Jota well crying and having tears and certainly showing emotion, and I think it's no different. It will continuously be no different, because on that 20th minute mark you saw the reception that they got at Anfield, and also the minute silence was impeccably, obviously, taken care of. But it's emotional, and I think it's emotional when you forget sometimes these players are human beings and how mentally they deal with something like this. It's very difficult to do. That place in their locker room is empty now, right? It's a very, very big shame for these Liverpool Football Club players, for obviously the fans and the supporters and the family members who were involved in this. It's really, really not nice to see. But Liverpool Football Club, and their supporters have been through a lot of traumatic times, and they are so respectful in situations like this. It's once again, all you can do is applaud the way they've handled this moment as a football club and the way the supporters continue to handle this moment.
Yeah, the tone was struck perfectly, very well said.